of the GNFL Premiership season. Well, Peter Keefe, have you been watching much of the AFL footy over the weekend? Did you take a view to the footy last night and the night before?
Yeah, we were just speaking about off there, Pete and Glenn, that difficult circumstances, like you said, for the Dockers, but it's the kicking straight's a problem. It's a bit of an issue, isn't it? And you're also seeing sides kick away, like we saw Port Adelaide kick away from Geelong, and that's becoming a habit. There's 5 or 6 goals up, and then
right. And it happened the night before, Carlton and Melbourne.
And people at quarter time, they rejig and they chase them down. And it's interesting stuff to watch at the moment. And the Eagles, obviously they've lifted a bit, so got a bit of talent. I'd like to see a little less of Harley Reid on the back of the West Australian if possible.
Yes, it's going to be hard though. I think he's a standout, isn't he? He's certainly a very, very sellable item. I guess they had Ben Cousins prior to that, and then they had Nick Natanui. And they've certainly backed in. I should imagine there's a lot of number 9 Guernseys being sold to young kids around Western Australia at the moment.
Absolutely.
And whatever you have to pay in paying for young Reid, you'll get it all back, I think, come merchandise time.
Absolutely. I think Nick Natanui proved that.
Yes, that's right. So it's interesting times in footy, and be interesting to see how the footy goes. And let's hope that we can see a rebound from the Fremantle Dockers. I'm sure last night was a bit of a glitch, and as we mentioned, it was certainly a tough game for them.
Good side, Sydney. Very good side.
They are amazing. Let's go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Final scores coming in from Mazzucchelli Oval, and a very good win to the Chapman Valley women. Chapman Valley 18-10 to Mullawar, no score. So there's certainly a great divide when it comes to the women. And we saw there was 4 sides initially. They took it to 7, but we're almost back to 4. And we probably were a bit too advantageous or too ambitious to think we could go to 7 sides in the women's competition at this early stage, because there seems to be a big divide between the top 4 and the bottom 3, or the bottom 2, because one side hasn't got a.
How many women's sides? Sorry, did you say?
6, because railways have dropped out.
Yes,
so
which is surprising.
Yeah, so there's only 6 sides at the moment, but only 4 of them seem to be reasonably competitive. So that makes it a bit hard. All brigades aren't all that competitive either. So there's probably only 3 sides that are competitive and 3 sides that are battling a little bit at the moment. As we see one of the greats of GNFL coaching, Ian Comber, who's an assistant coach with Rovers. He's had a knee operation in recent times, walking across the grounds. It's good to see him moving reasonably well.
Walking/limp.
Yes, but it's probably a lot less than it was before, so let's hope it is an improvement. We see the umpires going into position, and I'm sure both sides are going to come together, and there'll be a little bit of a talk and a little bit of a session. The game's running a little bit behind time today. It's 2:30 bounce down, but we're not going to get going much before probably 10:22. So the umpires going over, and they'll shake hands and talk about the respect to umpires, which I think is pretty good these days in comparison to perhaps what it once was. But the umpires certainly need our support. And if you are looking to get involved in football and you want to make a few dollars and you want to get fit, do get in touch with the GNFL. They're looking for umpires, officials. You can umpire junior football, you can umpire Colts footy, you can umpire women's footy. Doesn't matter if you're a goal umpire, a boundary umpire. You can do whatever you need to do, whatever suits you. Just get in touch with the GNFL during working hours, and they will be able to help you out and get involved in umpiring. Peter Keefe, have you ever done any umpiring?
No, I wasn't very good at that. I couldn't make a decision quick enough. I had to think about it for too long. But I've never been an umpire basher, and I think people at this grassroots level need to leave it.
Yes.
Because if you're not prepared to do it yourself...
You can't say too much, can you?
No. I mean, it's not an easy job, and Gobbo and these guys have taken a lot of heat over the years. And what do you think, Pete? Do you think it's settled a bit? Do you think that umpire bashing has settled a bit?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. It comes in ebbs and flows, really. But I think what Glenn said this morning on his program, Glenn, if you remember, if I'm rightly repeating this, is that it is much better to have a situation, have a separate group of umpires rather than having to rely on players.
Yeah, and like when we have voluntary umpires, although they're doing a great job for their club, it just doesn't seem quite right and just looks very amateurish, doesn't it?
It puts you into a position too.
Yeah.
Like if it gets a tight game, people can get pretty cranky with that.
Yeah, and you probably go the other way because you're not trying to look like you're supporting your club. So you're probably harder on your club than what that you need to be. But you're trying to perceive the situation that I'm not a cheat, and I'm not going to be seen as being someone who gives my side an easy free kick at a crucial stage, you probably go the other way.
But you also look at the old days when I was playing football, there was one umpire when I first started. So now we need 3. So, you need 9 or 10 umpires for a weekend versus 3.
But you look at the AFL, they've gone to 4, and I'm not sure that that's actually worked, because I don't think the consistency across the 4 umpires is working as well as perhaps we would like. But it's not an easy job. We all know that. It's a tough game to umpire because there's so much, way. It's all in the way you read the game, isn't it? The way you think the decision should flow.
Well, there seems to be also, guys, there's a lot of umpires, but there seems to be a lot of replays now. Like, point post, touch ball. And
out of bounds,
Yeah, the more and more people they have, the more no one seems to make a decision.
No, that's right. I think we want to get back, and think we've seen an improvement in that, Peter, in the last few weeks, where the AFL have told them to make a decision and we'll review it later.
Yeah.
I think that's far better than having these continual stoppages. I think unless it's a blatant, disastrous, we've got to let the odd touch ball go through, don't we?
Well, the situation could happen in the grand final like the Dockers did a few weeks ago.
Yes.
I was thinking a little bit earlier on, football is the only sport that a touch ball through the goals is not a goal.
Yeah.
It is in soccer. It is in hockey.
Right.
So why couldn't it be in football? I mean, if you're able to get rid of the ball and divert it, well, good.
And goes inside the sticks. Yeah, good point.
Yep.
So it's an interesting one. It's a hard game to umpire. It's a hard game to adjudicate. And the umpire's doing a great job for the GNFL. And we do pay our respects to them and the work that they do for the game, because you can't have a game without the umpires. Umpire Claire Knight about to get the game underway. And as we mentioned, other umpires this afternoon, senior field umpires Darren Bryce and Robert Bennett. We're out to get this first quarter underway, this first term, our Drennan O'Malley Motors game day, with thanks to our first quarter, thanks to the Community Bank Geraldton, your one-stop community bank. Ball is in the hands, and we're about to get this game underway. And we'll get underway a little bit later than we expected, about 10 minutes.
Breeze slightly blowing across the ground. Of course, this is an east-west ground, Glenn.
And the big fellas go at it. And the Towns player in Lachlan Morphew gets it forward, goes the way of the Towns runner, who goes quickly into attack there. And a good bit of play there from Callum Marquis. Gets it up towards full forward. Ball running free. Only 20 metres from goal. Towns go forward. Towns player Tim Bodell shoots on goal from point-blank range. Goal umpire signals all clear. And it took less than 15 seconds to Towns to get their first score on the board. On the Dental Clinic scoreboard, Tim Bodell gets the first scoreboard pressure for Towns. And the first major of the afternoon. And Towns are on the scoreboard. Chapman Road Dental Clinic, Towns are 1 goal straight.
Towns kicking toward the airport end. Rovers toward the city end in this particular term. And, that was a nice passage of play, or a very quick passage of play. Callum Marquis, as you mentioned, Peter, he's going to be influential in coming years in the GNFL, getting it down the ground and finished off there in the end by back. Now up they go. It's won by Morphew again. Goes down to that player we talked about in Marquis. He quickly set upon by his opposite number. The umpire says no, prior opportunity, we'll throw it up again. Nice warm, sultry conditions here at Greenock Oval this afternoon, and the new fella on the block, Blake de La Rosa, goes in to try and grab the ball, a likely customer, solid individual. The ball coming back to the umpire once again. So a little bit scrappy early, but pretty tight from both teams as Tazwell wins that particular ruck, knocks it down, but there he is again. La Rosa gets it to a teammate to the outer side. Towns are away again on the far side of Greenock Oval here this afternoon. Goes the way now of Jaden Davis. He sends it into the half-forward area, and the mark is taken, and a nice mark it is too, Glenn, by James Simmons.
James Simmons, he is very much the look-alike for Fraser Daly, and Fraser Williams, I should say. Fraser Williams, of course, the Guardian sports writer, but we have James Simmons, who's another young fellow, and he's playing some good footy. Played some good footy for Towns last year, and he's playing good footy again this year as he shoots on goal. And Towns have got the scoreboard rolling over. It's only taken a minute and a half, and Towns have got 2 scores on the board. On the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Towns are 2 goals straight, and Rovers are yet to score. And James Simmons joins the cavalcade, and Rovers need to get a little bit of ball very quickly.
It's been done by the Bulldogs, Pete, and Lockie Morphew is a pretty good ruckman, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's already taken 2 good knocks, tapped the ball to advantage. So, only way Rovers can stop that is playing man-on-man to be defensive, but a little bit early yet.
Certainly is, but 2 straight goals on the board to Towns. They lead Rovers yet to open their account. This quarter brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton. Hello to Joe. Back in the middle. Taswell up against his opposite number. Is able to win on this occasion for the Demons. Goes to ground. At the base of the pack, the Demons working hard to make amends on the outer side. It goes to Farron Parfitt now. Puts it onto his boot, sends it further afield to Jack Campbell. Campbell doesn't collect it on the first attempt, does it on the second. Comes in again for the third. He sends it forward. Rovers
Sounds. The defender kicks it up towards half forward, looking up there for Tim Bodell. The ball goes out of bounds, and there'll be a boundary throw in about 60 metres around from the right point post at the airport end of Greenock Oval. So the ball to be thrown back in.
Is that Frank's bloke?
It certainly is.
Yeah.
I asked him a little bit earlier on if he's running the farm at Bringo. He said, pretty much.
Yeah, well, the mayor's not doing much anymore.
I reckon. This is the young bloke reckons he's running it.
6 minutes gone in this first term, with thanks to the Community Bank Geraldton as Towns get the ball deep into their forward line. They're only 13 metres away from the goals Ball picked up now by the Rovers defence, who do well. And the Rovers defender gets it up the ground. Good mark taken there by the Rovers player. And Rovers can clear out through the player there out wide. There goes the kick from Campbell. Kicks it in towards the centre of the ground. Finds Neville. He misses what he should have taken. Ball comes to the ground. Picked up by Mason. He goes by hand to Walker. Bo Walker for Towns. Kicks it towards half forward. Chris Scott's there. Feeds the handball out towards Farron Parfitt. Up to his brother Clayton. Clayton Parfitt has the ball on centre wing, just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box. Parfitt kicks it up towards half forward. Rovers do well. Well done by Sean Brennan. Sean Brennan shoots towards goal from 35 metres, and it's picked up right on the goal line, and a good goal by the Rovers player.
Was it Campbell?
Yeah, maybe it is.
Number 11.
Number 11. So it is, don't know. It's not on this sheet. Might be on that sheet.
Okay, then.
Oh, no, on this one. So ball comes back to the centre. So Rovers get a much-needed goal, and a good score goal it was. And we've played 12 minutes in this first term. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Towns are 2 goals straight, Rovers are 1 goal, and a good goal there to the Rovers side.
Yeah, so evening things up a little on the scoreboard. 2 straight goals, plays 1, thanks to Chapman Road Dental Clinic. Jeff Noonan, of course, part of that operation. The ball back in the middle now. Up they go. No one could get it. Goes to ground. It's sent out to the outer side now. Towns have control. Comes away of a broadcast position. Down the line it goes and finds this player in Jaden Davis. Davis, he sees the lead. It's a nice lead as this player runs in and takes it. Takes a nice mark on his chest. And that player is Thorne. William Thorne, he sends it further afield, only into the half-back line where it's sent back from whence it came. A free kick has gone the way of Rovers. Tom Denton, I haven't seen him out there yet, Glenn. Is he there? Or maybe I'm just not seeing things. The ball. Okay, he should be number 2. The far side of the ground now, coming in for Towns, and Thorne takes the mark again. So Thorne will have a shot on goal. He's going to kick from about 30 metres, Pete, and he's a pretty sure shot, this fella.
Yeah, the Towns structure's looking good, isn't it? They've got some outside run happening, and they look to have it have a good structure set up with their behind-the-ball placement. It's good.
So in he comes now. Thorne kicking toward the airport end. It's low, but it's accurate. Through for the 3rd straight goal of the day. 2 Towns. They lead 3 straight goals, 18. And Rovers won just the 6 points. So at the moment, the game is being played at a pretty good pace, Pete.
Yeah, I think the game will open up a bit more, and I think that would be to Towns' advantage. They just seem to have structured up really well. They've got men in open in space, probably look a bit fitter. They've got a plan. It really looks a little bit different to what they did last year.
So that was William Thorne who kicked that?
Yes,
so William, good to have him back in the competition. So we're putting that last goal down.
Are you the only fella that calls him William?
Yes. Travis Morgan kicked the goal, we think, for the Rovers. He's only a youngster up.
Yeah, that is Travis, yep.
So Travis Morgan kicked the last goal.
Out of my homeroom at Nagel.
And, it may be his first league goal. I don't know that he's played league before.
No, first game.
Here's Tom Denton.
So Tom Denton in
he needs to get more of it, Pete.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Let's see if he can work his way into the game. Gets it up the ground, picks out a teammate. So Rovers have it on the outer side. And a big kick goes forward, and it goes only as far as the Towns defender. Towns defence go back, go the way there of a player who gets it up towards Parsons. And, in fact, it's Josh Clune. Josh Clune gets it up the way of Bodell. Bodell couldn't mark. Goes back to Bodell by hand. Bodell is tackled, and he may be caught in possession. Umpire gave him the opportunity. The ball came out.
Lucky.
And he was very fortunate there. And the umpire will throw the ball up. So the ball will be thrown up. So we'll see Biggs Fenson doing the rucking for Towns. There they go. Ball slapped forward. Doing the rucking for the Rovers side. Comes back to ground. Whistle on play. Umpire giving it plenty of opportunity. So the ball will be thrown up once again. Umpire Darren Bryce to throw the ball up on the half-forward line. Game slowed down a fraction. It's probably pretty warm out there. It's pretty warm in here. 20 minutes. We've played just over 11 minutes in this 20-minute quarter, plus time on. Ball goes the way of Willie Thorne. Willie Thorne kicks it up the ground, but only as far as Stuart Egan. Stuart Egan goes across the field, finds his coach in Chris Scott. Chris Scott breaks across half-back, kicks it up towards centre wing, but Towns have the numbers. In goes Callum Marquis. Ball spills, goes the way of the new Towns player in Drew McGregor. Came over from Brigades this year. Ball comes back towards Towns. Towns go forward again. Big kick on goal. Good effort, but it's offline, and the ball goes out of bounds. Perhaps it is at a point, or is it out of bounds? Waiting on the umpire to say. I think it's out of bounds on the full, so the ball will be brought back in by Rovers. And the ball's at the airport end. Rovers are kicking to the city end in this first term. With thanks to Community Bank.
Yeah, Jaden Parsons getting on to the end of that one. Inaccurate, unfortunately for him, but still holding the sway on the scoreboard are Towns as Rovers battle to get it out of their half-back line. Being beaten one-on-one at the moment by the Bulldogs. The ball comes onto the half-back line, and as I say that, the Bulldog player in Corlett moves forward. He gathers the ball near the boundary. He has about 2 players to beat. Gives it away to a teammate there. Sends it inboard. And a beautiful mark is taken by a player that's figured early in this game, and that is Tim Bodell. So Tim Bodell, he got the first goal of the afternoon. Played for Towns a few years ago, returning to the Bulldogs. So let's hear him go. Tim Bodell. And he's only about, would he be 30 metres out when he gets on this one? Probably a bit more, 35.
When he was last here, every player in Geraldton lined up to hit him. So it'll be interesting to see how long he lasts this time round. But he may have changed
In
his
he comes,
way.
Glenn. You're right behind him. It looks pretty straight, but it's gone wayward, just as I say that, across the face of goal and through for the minor score.
Yeah, minor score. So Tim Bodell wasted an opportunity. And Towns see the scoreboard roll over for Chapman Road Dental Clinic. Towns go to 3 goals, 1-19 to Rovers 1 goal straight. Ball coming out of defence through Rovers. And Rovers player there in Glenn Prosser gets a kick forward. Looking up there for Tom Denton. Ball carries that player off hands. Goes the way of Sean Brennan. He feeds the handball out. Once again, we see Rovers go forward. They're trying to get the ball forward through Jack Campbell. Picked up by Brennan. He throws boot to ball. But as we mentioned, Towns have got good structure. They have players behind the ball, and they have plenty of numbers here as they come out of defence. And the ball's now with Towns' Peyton Mason. Peyton Mason, centre wing. Club room. Points in just yet. So the ball is with Branson Gibson. He goes over, finds a short pass and picks out a teammate there. That player is Drew McGregor. Drew McGregor goes back, finds Gibson. Gibson, the Victorian, takes the ball with a hand, goes to a teammate, gets it up forward and has it up towards centre wing, where Towns have it on centre wing. Forward road side of the ground with Cale Corlett. Short pass, puts his teammate under pressure. Umpire Knight will come in and throw the ball up on the centre wing, outer side, or the Hallwood Road side of the ground. outer side to the broadcast box. Good crowd here, enjoying round 3 of the GNFL Premiership season, doing it for Bubbles Plumbing and Gas on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. As the ball spills out, once again, Sean Brennan's there. His own teammate interfered with him. In fact, it was pretty handy because it
there's your mate getting slung around.
Gave him a free kick. Sean Brennan goes forward, up towards half forward. Ball is in the deep forward line, but Towns can mop up through McGregor, who gets it from a teammate there, goes back towards Branson Gibson. Gibson goes back again. Ball comes across the ground, and it's taken now by Aiton Mason. Aiton Mason for Towns, comes back to Rowan Farris, but well cut off by the Rovers player there in Clay Azevedo. And he's got his orange boots back on.
Yes, I thought he had white.
He had white boots on to start with. But
so, well, I was right, wasn't I?
Well, I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, well, the orange boots are starting to play dividends.
Well, he did well last week in orange boots, so he might have thought, I'll change them back.
This is the guys, I've coached this kid.
Yeah.
He's got a fire because he's got the ability, he's just got to get it right in his head, and he's the X factor for Rovers.
He certainly is. We talked about him last week, Peter. He seems to have plateaued in his performance. That's a nice kick. I think it's coming back enough. It's a beautiful goal by Clay Azevedo. He did kick one like that last week at the Rec at the Augusta Street end, so from almost the same position. But certainly, Pete, you look at him, he's the build, he's the speed, he's got all the skills.
Just got to get I don't know whether he's got his head right or not. I've coached him. He's a good kid, but I think you're right. Exactly the right word, plateaued, and I think he needs to come up to that A grade level. He's not far off it.
Yep. Certainly, the scoreboard now ticking over. Good for Rovers. They now go to 3 goals. I think they are 2 goals.
2 goals.
So it's 2 goals, 1, are they?
Yeah.
2 goals. Yeah, the scoreboard's not actually correct. So they are 2 goals, 1 to 3 straight goals, I think. Yeah. So the ball coming back to the middle now. Clay Azevedo scoring the most recent goal for the Demons.
So Rovers are keeping in touch, Peter, which is very important. There's hardly a breath of breeze.
No, the breeze is not a factor this afternoon.
Blowing across the ground, if anything, but it's certainly not blowing into the broadcast box.
No. Community Bank, Geraldton ticking away in this particular quarter. Lockie Morphew slaps it down pretty solidly on that occasion. Player called high. The Rovers player get a free kick. So backward to the centre square. It'll go the way of Scott. Nice big handball. Gets it to a teammate who sends it further afield. That player is Prosser. Prosser into the half-forward area now. The ball spills free. Another scoring opportunity for Rovers. But a player by the name of Cameron Hoffhammer puts paid to that. Kicks it to the clubroom side of the ground. The mark taken by Towns once again. Rowan Farris is getting a lot of the ball this afternoon off the half-back line. Glenn, he's sort of a magnet when you're talking footballs. And the ball coming over to the outer side, the Hallwood side right of the side of the ground, and going out over the line at centre wing.
Talking of Hawthorn and Callum Marquis and his dad, I don't know if Callum's a Hawthorn man, but Jared is certainly a Hawthorn man, and Hawthorn getting over the top of St Kilda by 5 points. So that's a big win for Hawthorn this afternoon. And so well done to Hawthorn. The ball comes back into play. And we have the ball now with the Towns youngster there, and Aiton Mason goes back by hand, looking there for La Rosa. Ball comes out the back. Stewie Egan's there, feeds it out to the very experienced Clayton Parfitt. Clayton Parfitt looking for somewhere to go. He better get rid of it. He does eventually. Gets it back towards a teammate there, and Dipsy Morrell. Parfitt kicks it up towards centre wing. But once again, Towns, there's 3-1. Picked up by Drew Forrester, the key backman, the captain for Towns. Sends it forward. Finds a teammate there in Jalen Parsons. Jalen Parsons. He's 55 metres from goal. Parsons kicks it up towards full forward. Towns in best position. Well read there by the Towns player. He was well and truly had the better of that one, and gets it on the boot as William Thorne, is it? And William Thorne gets another goal for his side. So Rovers were doing pretty well. Willie Thorne gets his second of the afternoon.
Who's this Jalen Parsons, Peter and Glenn? Where's he from?
Not quite sure.
One of the Towns family, the Parsons.
The Parsons are well known in Towns.
Not a bad target, big fella.
He's a big boy, isn't he? Yeah, very
Forrester
handy.
having an impact as well, Glenn. I think it might be that new beard he's sporting as well.
But I think it's the structure. Peter talked about the structure. We see every time Towns have got 3 or 4 people behind the ball, and they run through, and poor old Rovers are a bit undermanned in that regard because they don't have that structure, do they?
Forrester, but of course the general down there is Rowan Farris.
Exactly.
He's directing traffic pretty well, isn't he?
But now you've got Rowan Farris, you've got Bo Walker, you've got the coaching staff. There's a bit of age and
experience. Yeah,
exactly what I'm looking for.
In they go now, and Up they go. It's won by Rovers, but goes down to a Towns player. Talking about Walker, he comes off the back of the pack there. Kicks it to the outer side, wearing the number 6 this afternoon. He kicks it to the Horwood Road side of the ground. I should say Towns have another shot on goal. Goes across the face.
Just misses.
Just a little bit too quick to get rid of it on that occasion. And the ball going through for the minor scores. So as we get to the latter stages of the first term, Towns just doing enough to have control of this game, Pete.
Yeah, they are looking good, and exactly what you said before, the structure behind the ball, it's a little bit like the Dockers. Like you see the Blondie, what's the Blondie fellow's name? His name eludes me in the back line.
Young?
Luke Ryan.
Oh, Ryan.
There's a little bit of that stuff going on, Luke Ryan Pearce, where they kick the ball to each other a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. On the far side, out centre wing, Towns are getting a lot more of the ball, more possessions as they kick it to no one on that occasion. Rovers get a bit of a free kick in some respects. So the ball on the far side. As Glenn said, a reasonable crowd in attendance here this afternoon. Everyone eager to watch local footy. And
I think we're sweating as much as the players, Pete.
We certainly are. The ball going down that Horwood Road side. Players setting themselves up. They go. Player up into the air. Almost took a beautiful mark. And that player was Delton Jones, but alas, he had butterfingers. The ball on the far side goes away with Azevedo again. He can line up another goal. Sees it pretty easily, but not accurately. Kicks across the face. Can Rovers do something with it here as Parfitt is quick on the scene? It's Clayton Parfitt, and the ball finds the boundary. Clayton Parfitt getting a bit of the game, a bit of the ball. One player we haven't seen a lot of at the moment for Rovers is Farron Parfitt.
Yes, in time on in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton as Tom Collins to come back on the side. He's another ex-Towns player, so there's about 4 ex-Towns players playing for Rovers this afternoon. As the siren sounds, it's quarter time at the football round 3 of the GNFL Premiership season for Plubbles Plumbing and Gas. And this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. And the scoreboard, Towns are 4 goals won, 25. Looking at the contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day, JJ Clune medalist Peter Keefe.
The Towns at the moment are holding sway, and I think that we've touched on it a couple of times. Their structure's a lot better. Behind the ball, they look to be really good. They're moving the ball well around the back line. So the better players at this stage, leading possession winners are Rowan Farris with 5 and Drew McGregor with 4, 2 backmen, Bo Walker with 3. Lockie Moorfield in the ruck. I think I'm surprised to see him coming off the bench as much. I mean, I'm old school, but when you've got a young bloke that's playing as well as that and taps the ball so well, they play better with him on the ground. I'd like to think that he could stay on the ground longer, but I'm not the coach, so it's nothing to do with me. Chris Scott for Rovers with 5 possessions. Clay Azevedo with 3. And Clayton Parfitt, Stuart Egan and Glenn Prosser, the prosecutor, as Glenn calls him, 3. One little thing before I leave, I would like to see Clay Azevedo at full forward.
Yeah.
Goals. I think he's got the ability. I'm not sure if he knows where he wants to play or what at the moment or what their plan is, but that's where I'd like to see him and so demand the football, you know.
As we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Big game being played up at Percher International Oval today, and Northampton had first use of the breeze up there. There's a bit of a breeze up at Northampton. Of course, the ground runs in a different direction than this one here at Grenfell Oval. And at quarter time, Northampton 21 and Brigades are 8. So just looking at the scoreline now, and it's a pretty interesting scoreline it is too. So Northampton are 3-3-21, Brigades are 1-2-8, Northampton with the breeze in that first quarter. About to get this second quarter underway. Towns have broken up and gone to their positions, and we see that Rovers still getting their address from their coach and their assistant coach. So Rovers, their performance hasn't been too bad, Peter. It's been a pretty good effort from Rovers, but they need to keep in touch because they could get blown away if their fitness doesn't match that of Towns.
Sorry, which Pete? You should call me Buck. Yeah, well, that's right. It just looks that way that Rovers are going to drop away, but it could be wrong. But they have been competitive, haven't they, guys, at this stage?
Yes, that's right.
And it just got that feeling that Towns are a little bit fitter, probably a little bit more organised at this stage. You know, you've got some wise heads there now with Bo Walker and the coaching staff, and it's an halfback. The name eludes me.
Rowan Farris?
Rowan Farris.
Yeah, so that's right. We're about to get this second quarter underway, this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Geraldton, member for Durack, and Melissa Price, of course, a long-time member for the seat of Durack in the Federal Parliament. Umpires this afternoon for the GNFL doing a fine job on Umpire Acknowledgement Day is Robert Bennett, Darren Bryce and Claire Knight. And umpire Robert Bennett puts the ball into the air. The big fellas go at it, and Rovers player Blake Tazewell gets the most of it. Player is tackled beautifully, and Towns player in Bo Walker is rewarded. Bo Walker, the coach of the Towns side, goes in with a short pass, looking there for a teammate of James Simmons. He misses what he should have taken. Ball comes to ground, picked up now by Rovers. Rovers go forward, and Sean Brennan has the ball in the centre of the ground. It was Glenn Prosser who got it to him. Ball comes up the ground, and this is Drummond. Drummond with the ball. Roland Drummond, very talented footballer, looks for Dale Wallam. Dale Wallam, a talented player as we know, and Dale's got white boots on, and Dale has marked 50 metres from goal, goes with a short pass, picks out his teammate, and that is a good bit of play there from Rovers. They go forward. Farron Parfitt, the captain, is marked. So Rovers won the ball out of the centre there, and Rovers kicking to the airport end in this second quarter.
Farron hasn't had much of the ball, has he?
No, well, he didn't have much of it last week. He kicked 5 goals, 2 or something, so he did really well. So he doesn't have to handle the ball a lot, but it's a very accurate kick. So Farron Parfitt, he'll shoot from 35 to 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle, get his side right back into the contest. His side trail by 14 points, and Farron Parfitt can turn things around pretty quickly. We've only played a couple of minutes in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. There goes the kick from Farron. It fades away to the left-hand side on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Rovers go to 2 goals, 1. That is 13. They trail Towns 4 goals, 2, 26.
This quarter brought to you, as Glenn mentioned, by Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Hello to Melissa. She does listen into the broadcast when she can. The ball coming out of defence now. Towns sending it almost down the middle of the ground, and a mark is taken by the Rovers player. The player about to pick himself up.
That's so 50. He's going to call 50?
Well, no, it's a Towns player that has it. Sorry, I apologise. Prosecutor on the mark. Goes the way now of that player in Marquis to the outer side. Townsend it further along that area. Running in to try and get it are a host of players from both sides. No one can get possession. The umpire lets it go on for a little while and eventually calls the players in to disperse. So the ball has been thrown up on the far side, the Horwood Road side of Greenock over here this afternoon. As I've mentioned, sultry conditions. The breeze slightly blowing across the ground, not favouring either end. Towns were in front at by 14 points at quarter time. Rovers had a bit of a flurry, but Towns held sway. And the ball going over the line.
One thing
once
Rovers
again
have got, Peter, is they've got some natural ability out there, haven't they? There's some guys that can turn it on, like Dale Wallam, Farron Parfitt, etc. So there's no reason why, if they did turn it on, they couldn't turn this game around a little bit.
We certainly know how that can happen just watching Kristen Petrarca on Thursday night. So the ball coming in once again. The umpire says, no, that wasn't thrown in properly. I'll throw it in again. Young umpire trying to get it above his head. Up they go. Lucky Morphew pulls it down out of the pack, tries to get it forward. The whistle sounds, a free kick going to that player in La Rosa. La Rosa into the half-forward area. Can they get another goal here? Towns going the way of Egan, playing in defence. He finds a sanctuary of the boundary, and the ball rolls over in front of the change rooms. And I don't know how much longer those change rooms will be here, Glenn, but in the future, there'll be more new change rooms here at Greenock Oval.
Which will be good news for everyone. The ball to be thrown back in as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. The other game being played out at Nabor at Mazzucchelli Oval at quarter time. Chapman Valley at 2-7 to Mullawa, 1-2. Very warm at Mazzucchelli Oval today. And a good game. Mullawa have come to play. Chapman Valley having a bit of trouble getting their straightness in front of goals again this afternoon, as they did last week. Picked up now by Towns' Drew McGregor. There who had to get rid of the ball quickly, and he did. The umpire will come in now. We'll get the free kick. And Dwayne Neville, lucky to give away a free kick there.
Denton.
Paul with Tommy Denton, the JJ Clune medalist. John Denton, quality player. Plays on quickly, coming back from a knee
nice
reconstruction last year. He gets it up the road and gets it the way of Farron Parfitt. Farron Parfitt is full. Now they've had an opportunity. They've kicked 1 point in this quarter. Towns haven't added to their score, and we've played some 7 minutes in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, and Clayton Parfitt gets his first of the afternoon, and Rovers get their third on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Rovers
opened up, a bit of a technical issue there. And it's still quite bottled up, but some of the clever play, and like we said, Peter, before, there's some of the Indigenous talent there on show, and these guys know how to turn it on when they need to.
Ball back in the middle now, last goal scored by the Demons, even things up. 4-2 plays 3-1 in favour of the Bulldogs. They had a lead of 14 points at quarter time. Rovers starting to peg them back. But as I say that, they get the ball through that player in Bo. He sends it forward. That's Bo Walker. Coming off the half-back line, though, for Rovers. An ill-directed kick finds this player.
Frank Clune.
Clune. Going to Clune now down the line. Themselves, it's slapped down by Tazwell, the big ruckman for Rovers. Goes to ground, picked up now by Campbell. Back to Tazwell. Tazwell in turn off the half-back line. Rovers get it now. Azevedo, he's clever. He weaves through like an Indian rubber man. Gets it to a teammate. Back to Clayton Parfitt. He's all at 6s and 7s. Back to Azevedo. Rovers can set something up.
The wing out of side. So game tightening up. 19 plays 26 in favour of Towns. This second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Umpire Knight puts the ball into the air and away we go again. Rovers slap it to ground and Rovers seem to be doing very well at the moment. Can they get a sniff and go in towards half time in level pegging or a little bit better? They need to get the score on the board while they're running hard and have a little bit of momentum. They seem to have held Towns out pretty well in this second quarter. So we've played 11 minutes in this second term. Grenon O'Malley Motors game day. Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. To get the game underway, Darren Bryce, we're into this third quarter for Drennan O'Malley Motors, and at half-time, Rovers are 1 point leaders. Rovers 4-3-27, Towns 4 goals 2-26. The ball comes out of the centre, Rovers go forward again, and a good bit of play there from Tom Collins. Ball running free, Towns have it in defence, picked up by Rowan Farris. He goes out wide and picks out a teammate on the Hallwood Road side of the ground. There goes the kick from Mason. Gets it up towards half forward. In goes Rovers. Rovers player appeared not to have possession. Ball comes back. Rovers player gets rid of the ball just for the nick of time. Comes back to the Rovers player. Scott goes with a big handball, but Towns can mop up through the player there, and Willie Thorne comes forward, and Towns have an opportunity now from 50 metres. Tim Bodell kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for the big fella in Parsons. Parsons throws it on his boot. Rovers, 4 goals, 3-27.
Yeah, first bite of the cherry early in this second half, Towns, Pete, and they need to do that because Rovers getting on top in the second term.
Yeah, they did. They played quite well, Rovers. Just quickly, the better players, Bo Walker, Drew McGregor and Rowan Farris, easily the three best for Towns, the old heads. And then the key to Rovers, I think, is Azevedo, Parfitt, Dan, Wallum, the forward line. If they can gel, and they were dangerous in the second quarter.
Yes.
Our half-time summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton, looking at half-times from other grounds up at Percher International Oval. Good game there. Northampton 3-5-23 lead Brigades 2-7-19, and at Mazzucchelli Oval, Chapman Valley 6-8-44 lead Mullawar 5-4-34, 10-point margin there. So good tight games. 4 points in the margin up at Northampton in favour of Northampton, and 10 points the margin in favour of Chapman Valley at Mazzucchelli Oval.
Bo Walker gets the ball out to through Bo Walker. He steadies the ship in the middle of the ground. It's picked up now by the player there in Marsh. Marsh in turn sends it down the corridor. Players moving one way, then the other. Town still have possession, would think. But there's Brennan again. Mum would think he was tackled high, but he did duck into it. The umpire probably believes the latter, and the ball will be thrown up just metres away from the Town's goal once again.
Bo Walker starting to have a big impact, 15 possessions, just clever stuff around the pack.
He's very effective, isn't he?
Ball thrown up, goes the way of Egan, picked up by Towns. They shoot towards goal. In goes Sean Brennan again. Good player there from the Rovers defence. Ball comes out, comes away of William Thorne. William Thorne from 20 metres. Slams it around the corner, and Willie Thorne gets his third goal of the afternoon. Will Thorne and Towns see their scoreboard kick over, so they have kicked 4 27, 4 goals. You can't argue with that.
As the great Dennis Committee would say, suddenly it's changed a little bit. 12 points is the difference on the scoreboard. Maybe a little bit more than that. 10-3 to 4-3. Just updating the scoreboard. But we're going back to the middle. Towns on have a bit of a control, people. It's funny, isn't it? All the score has been at the airport end, and the breeze doesn't seem to be favouring that end too much anyway.
Might be a goal if
that. So 45 plays 27, the ball back.
No, that's wrong. That's 63.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's he's missed. He's 8 goals, not 6.
All right. Well.
Yeah, that's where he's wrong. He's 8 goals, 3. That's right. 8-3, where he's got 10-3 on the scoreboard.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn.
Town's set up so well behind the ball. They've got players all on their half back line, building a wall defensively, and Rovers just can't penetrate.
They certainly can't, and Towns are playing to a system, you'd say, Pete, where Rovers are relying on individuals to get the ball through, which...
That's Glenn's man.
The ball in the middle of the ground from Prosser. Nice kick by him into space. Parfitt has it now. He sends it down to this player in Wallom. He plays on, doesn't make a mistake, and scores his second goal, or his first goal.
There you go.
In Demons colours.
Yeah, so well done to Dale Wallom, and they needed that one because we've seen the last 4 goals scored by Towns. But the Rotters stopped briefly, and a good goal there to Rovers and Dale Wallom. And Dale Wallom getting his first goal of the afternoon. Our goal scorers, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. For Rovers, goal scorers, Travis Morgan, Clay Azevedo, Clayton Parfitt, Farron Parfitt and Dale Wallom. For Towns, their goal scorers, William Thorne has 3, James Simmons 2, Tim Bodell 1 and Arthur Garlett 1.
Ball back in the middle as Rovers try and even the ledger somewhat. They still trail on the scoreboard, but pegging their opponents back. And this is the Premiership Quarter brought to you by Drennan O'Malley Motors. Thanks to Ron, John, Rachel and the team for all their support of Radio Mum's broadcast of GNFL football.
Jaden Davis is also...
The ball out in the middle. Denton sends it into the half-forward area. He's looking for a player there. Does he find him? A free kick's going to go the way of Demons, and it's the youngster in Brennan. He's been working hard today, Bucket.
Yeah, when they move the ball quickly,
Drummond gets it now. He'll score from here. He's a good goal sneak. Will he let me down? It's going to drop short, but a nice mark is taken by Azevedo in the goal score. Indeed.
They certainly do. Looking forward to some rain in the not too distant future, but no rain on the horizon, so hopefully it isn't too far away. And looking forward to a good game of footy here to finish round 3. Pretty entertaining games across the board, and we'll be interested to see the scores at the final siren. Of course, we have Brigades. No surprise, really, that they are in front of Northampton at this stage. Northampton have coming home with the breeze. No, they aren't. Brigades will have the breeze up there if there is any breeze, because we know that Northampton had the breeze in the first quarter.
So the ball now is with Rovers. I think a bit of a 50-metre penalty here.
That'll hurt.
And it's coming up forward for the Demons.
So one apiece now, so that evens it out.
Yep, so there'll be a shot on goal now for the Red and Blacks. The goal here will be very important. It'll keep Rovers in touch in the early stages of the final term. Coming through now. Is it? I think it is Parfitt who has it, isn't it?
Stuart Egan.
Stuart Egan, one of those. Stuart Egan. A nice kick off the boot, but inaccurate. And alas, goes through for the minor score. So Rovers lament that opportunity. And the ball will come out of defence now for the Bulldogs.
So still a pretty comfortable margin in favour of the town side. They've kicked very, very accurately today. 10 goals 3 to Rovers, 6 goals 4. Just probably the superior fitness and structure, as Peter Keefe has mentioned throughout the afternoon.
Good night.
As we see Rovers take a good mark and they send the ball back to whence it came. And the ball is in the forward 50. Can Towns get a handle on it? Pack around the ball, picked up by Rovers. Comes back towards Clayton Parfitt. Gets a handball forward, picked up by Towns' defence. Comes again to La Rosa. He goes by hand, looking there for Drew Forrester. Forrester feeds a handball back, but only as far as Parfitt. He sets sail for home from 35 metres, and Clayton Parfitt gets his second of the afternoon. And Rovers, they won't lay down. They're a good side. And Rovers, 7-5. 47. They trail Towns 10-3, 63.
Important for them to get that goal, Pete. But we talked about Clayton Parfitt, but I think it was Farron Parfitt that did a lot of work early in that passage of play.
Yeah, has he kicked a couple? What's he got, Pete?
Clayton's got 2.
2 goals. He's dangerous, and that's the problem. If you stay in range with these guys, they can kick goals quickly.
Ball back in the middle as our friends flock across the top of the oval.
It's that time of day when they come out.
Yes, the Cockies here in Geraldton is just something we really aren't too happy about. The ball back in the middle now, and things evening out a little bit in the early stages of the final term. Can Rovers peg their opponents back? Time will tell. The ball about to be thrown up. Morphew, he'll be going up against Bursell on this occasion. So the two youngsters going at it, both of a similar age. Up they go. It's not won by anyone, but Bursell brings it down in the end. He roves his own ball, coming out of the pack. Gets it across to a teammate who finds this fella. We're talking about Denton, the JJ Clune medalist. Cleverly, he loses possession, but gets it back to Scott. Scott puts it in front of him. Sockers forward into space. Will Rovers be able to collect it? But running onto it is Farris. Farris out of the pack, gets it to La Rosa. La Rosa goes through traffic. He gets it back to McGregor. McGregor is quickly brought to ground by Neville, and it's called holding the ball. Play on now with advantage rule. Goes away of Parfitt. That's Farron Parfitt into the half-forward area. He's looking for his brother Clayton. Clayton can't mark. He's got a few to beat. The ball comes out of the pack, going back the way. Plays quick. Hills again, kicks it. right in. The boundary dugout.